Welcome to Ruffing the Passer, the show where I talk football, miscellaneous stuff, and mostly football. I'm your host, Sam Ruffing. In recent news, the Cowboys have informed Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence that they're going to move off of them this year to save on cap space if they do not restructure their contract or if they cannot find a trade partner, which is highly likely that they won't, so they're going to be moving on from them. They are shopping right tackle La'el Collins, who is a solid right tackle for them. And they're getting trade offers from Cincinnati and Jacksonville. So, all right, that's all right. But they have to do this because they're over the cap, mainly due to two factors. One, Jerry Jones likes to pay players. He is an owner who drafts good players, like decent players, but because they play for the Cowboys, they get overhyped. And so when they want money, they're a ravaged fan base, they're large, very vocal fan base, and that doesn't mean they're all bad. I highly doubt there are probably a lot of great Cowboys fans. I'm not picking on you. But this forces them to pay them early. Jerry Jones loves to pay guys he drafted because they're part of the family or whatever. And the two main examples of this are Zeke Elliott, a running back, as you well know, you know who Zeke Elliott is, who held out in the 2018 offseason, and Jerry Jones, eventually gave into his contract demands despite the fact he had 2 years left on his deal and is a running back, and he gave him a 6-year extension with a lot of money, which I was like, which didn't necessarily agree with. And it looks really bad now considering Zeke is an okay running back, but man, he's not what he once was in 2016, 2018. And the Dak Prescott contract seemed smart at the time, like giving him $40 million a year. But looking back on it, that was not a good move. I mean, Dak, granted the Cowboys played horribly without Dak. I mean, Andy Dalton, you realize, Dak is doing something to that offense. And he looked really good this year. He went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady, threw for a crap ton of yards, ton of touchdowns, led the Cowboys to the NFC, East championship and into the playoffs. But, man, once he got in the playoffs, he did not play well. And you kind of realize, that low ceiling we talked about before Dak is not a good, it's low. And he's a quarterback who needs to be lifted up by a team. And when you're getting rid of Amari Cooper is his favorite target, DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a great pass rusher, and La'el Collins is his right tackle, he's not going to perform as well. The Cowboys will probably not be as good as next year. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, Cowboys fans. I just want to give you a warning. I know every year is a Cowboys Super Bowl, but for real this time. And looking at this, it really made me wonder, why didn't the Cowboys trade for Russell Wilson? He was just traded recently to the Denver Broncos, which is sick. But anyways, he was traded to the Denver Broncos for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a fifth, and 3 players. And the Cowboys, I feel like, could have made that trade, honestly. Now, granted, I mean, they got Dak Prescott as a good quarterback replacement for Seattle. He's decent. He's a franchise guy, definitely. I mean, no one's going to argue that he's not a franchise guy. And if you do, I'll understand you. I mean, he's a good solid starter. He's not a Super Bowl guy, but he's a franchise guy. Not to mention they had DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a good pass rusher. They have Amari Cooper, he could have given him. DeMari Cooper. I was going to say CeeDee Lamb, but no, you're not getting rid of CeeDee Lamb. Not to mention the picks, you can get those picks. I mean, the Cowboys have your basic NFL draft picks. First, third, second, whatever, for the next 2 years. So that would have been easy to get rid of. I'm sure Russell Wilson would have loved to play for the Cowboys. So let's be real. He was a Texas Ranger at one point. He was also a Colorado Rocky, and now he's a Yankee. But, however, that would have been, it would have been the best fit football-wise. However, Cowboys are the biggest sporting brand in the world. Well, independent sporting brand, not for a national country. Like, the United States soccer team, and I just used it as an example, the United States soccer team are not the most popular team in America. But, I mean, they're bigger than Man U, they're bigger than the Yankees. They're bigger than Barcelona and Barcelona and Real Madrid. And man, if Russell Wilson could have gone there, the amount of endorsement deals anyone been getting, I mean, my goodness, just being a Cowboys quarterback must be so flippin' profitable. If you're just the backup, I mean, everyone's gonna, half the fan base knows who the backup is. Cowboys fans, they're like a ton of them. Their games get an average of probably, well, like they're the highest rated games every week, and I still don't understand why for the life of me, but still, it's impressive. Russell Wilson on that team also could have carried a Mike McCarthy, could have carried that roster to a Super Bowl, maybe. Most likely, I mean, it would have been a better situation than he was in with Seattle. Not to mention, you could give that money to him. You don't have to focus on paying guys like Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence and La'el Collins as much, and you could have been playoff contender. I mean, you would have been a playoff team every year because that division is so bad. And man, Russell Wilson would have led that team. I was going to say they should trade for Russell Wilson after the 49ers Cowboys playoff game, but I never got around to it. But man, that would have been a better trade offer, let's be real, than what Denver gave Seattle. I mean, Dak Prescott's better than Drew Lock. Drew Lock's younger, but you know. And they got some pieces. They got some solid studs, and I think Russell Wilson been like, okay, yeah, I can understand that trade. But they didn't. They stuck with their hometown guy again, playing it safe just so they get the national TV game every year. Like, that's the worst part about watching the Cowboys, let's be frank. The fact that they're on America's Game of the Week nearly every week, even though they're a mediocre team that just does well enough to get a winning record or 8-8. And they've been doing that since the 90s, and it is so boring on so many levels. Well, this has been Ruffing the Passer. I thank you beautiful people for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe down below if you like my content. Leave comments on your thoughts and opinions on this, and I will see you later.